All right, we are back from our break, and Higgimus headed out to check on prices for some provisions and stuff like that. So Higgimus, knowing that you're going to be in a place where it's very hot and then a place where it's very cold, you kind of you're very specific about the provisions that you're looking for, and it's going to run you 2 gold pieces per day of food for stuff suitable for a very hot environment, and 3 gold pieces per day for food in a very cold environment. And then for firewood, you're looking at 1 silver piece per day for firewood, and that's going to weigh about 3 pounds each.
Are you making notes of this?
I mean, I got it written down, so you can just go purchase it, and you tell me, I want X number of days, and I'll give you a full price. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
We got
Now, when you were asking about the firewood, you got kind of an odd look because that's not exactly a common question around here, and the guy was kind of like, "Well, I'll have to. We don't usually sell firewood, but I'll have to. I can get some. It's an odd request."
I don't know if I'll need it yet or not, though. I'm waiting on
Okay.
a report back from the Planetary Defense.
Oh, all right. It should take me. I mean, it'll probably take me a day to get in some, but you know the price, so just give me a day's warning, and I'll get some together for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You guys kind of realize that most of the people working the shops here actually go into the other section of town at night in the evenings, kind of thing. And the shops get all locked up, and so they don't live here in this section of town.
Right. Got ya.
And other than people who would kind of have to live here, like innkeepers and stuff like that, there isn't a whole lot of like native people living in this section of town. There are some. There is like lodging for sailors. For sailors whose ships let them go, and so long as they haven't been violating the laws, they can like flop house kind of things. You were asking, Zakad?
Did obviously specifically I'm trying to rehearse rules that I could use to my advantage for when I go out looking for any holy symbol at some point. Was there any rules about visiting back workplaces that you own during off hours?
No.
I mean, is it like forbidden to work during the hours that are normally closed? I.e., if I was disguised as one of the shopkeepers.
No.
Right.
Not that you saw. Okay. So, on the third day, after doing whatever you do out, you guys do come back to your ship, and you find some of the guards have arrested 2 of your sailors. Because I don't recall.
Well,
On our ship.
Had you confined?
They snuck off.
Had you confined them to your ship?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Didn't I? I thought I said that.
Maybe
Yeah,
you did,
you did.
and maybe I missed it. Okay, never mind then. Scratch that. So instead of that, I since I missed that didn't happen.
I was thinking about saying about letting sailors up, but they have to be under the supervision of one of us. One of the party members or something.
Well, it's been a few days now, so your sailors are getting a bit antsy though. So just FYI, you do notice that there does appear to be a group of guards. You've noticed that they seem to be always watching your ship, and making notes of who's coming and going. So that was on the third day. Anything?
I will explain the necessity of our crew staying on the ship,
Okay.
and that until we get our permission, it could risk our mission for this place.
Are we allowed to behave? Is our crew allowed to behave as they want on their ships, on our ships, so to speak? As in, could stuff be brought to them? As in, could we hire like a runner, so they could use the town's facilities, but have the stuff transported to our ship, so to speak? So they're still within the confines of our ship.
Well, there isn't catered meals, but to a certain extent, as long as anything that happens on the ship doesn't violate the laws in the book. There aren't any laws saying, while on your ship you can't do this, while on your ship you can't do this. However, if someone is up on deck and they're singing at the top of their lungs an incredibly bawdy song that would violate the laws of the area, that would be a violation of the law. But if everyone's below deck and there's and they get drunk and they smash their heads together and collapse down and it doesn't spill out beyond the ship and people can't really tell beyond the ship that it's happening, then no, it's that wouldn't happen. I mean, that wouldn't be a problem.
I need to be right back very quickly.
So anything else that you guys want to do while waiting?
Yeah, I think you should also probably explain how harsh the punishments are here.
No, I mean I think he would. I think he would have done that, but I mean there's still going to be grumbling.
Fair.
I probably would have gone through a rundown of the rules and punishments with the crew, so they know what kind of place we're dealing with.
But also, like some of the grumbling, will come from people who'll be like, I mean, you tell us the rules, we'll abide by them, and that's even coming from some of those, that are kind of rowdy.
Yeah, I actually think that as long as we tell them the rules and everything, and they promise to follow them, we should be fine.
No.
Are we responsible for their faults if they go and get themselves arrested? Are we responsible?
The buck stops with the captain.
Are we held accountable?
The buck stops with the captain.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I agree. No, don't let them out.
I'm willing to be more lenient, but if I'm outvoted, I'm outvoted.
Well, if they cause a scene, like even like one of them or two of them causes an issue, with the way the people are here, they could just see that as a reflection upon us, and then say, well, you weren't minding your business here for something. I mean, even if it was trivial, it seems
trivial.
It could be a deep punishment, and they might not allow us based on that. So I would rather.
Yeah, that could be problematic.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
Braxon's going to tell the crew
back.
Braxon's going to tell.
Sorry.
Braxon's going to tell the crew the story of the man that was arrested for eating a piece of meat.
Well, no, he wasn't arrested for that. He was arrested for littering.
Yeah, but he's not going to explain. He's just going to say he's just walking down the street, eating a piece of meat, and he got arrested.
One of the members of the crew says, well, that doesn't sound very lawful.
Well, yeah.
You need to explain it better than that. Otherwise, it can just kind of hate.
Seems pretty arbitrary.
Well, he littered.
All right, so you're just going to wait until you get word or someone comes to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a total of 6 days.
6 days.
Yeah.
We can do some work on the ship, can't we?
I mean, if
does that mean that means I need to get any holy symbol then?
Fully repaired
before we leave.
Yeah, you might need to.
Okay.
Well, we could do an inspection for those barnacles.
Okay. All right. That's you can do that. However, keep in mind that they did use magic on your ship to see if there were pests aboard.
Yeah, so they know that there's no barnacles.
Okay.
Well, at least none that trigger the magic that's detecting for pests. But no, I mean, if you want to check the hull for any other minor problems that might not have been caught, yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, I
It
think
might
that'd be a
be
good
a-
idea.
Keep the crew busy.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So on the 6th of the day, it's about the 11th bell when Graydon Bortroff returns, and he comes on board and waits until Higgimus comes to meet him. And he says to you, Higgimus, "All right, well, I've spoken with my superiors, the council. They're not too keen on this, but they're not totally opposed to the idea either. I might be willing to let you do something along these what you propose, but you'll need to do some additional work for them if you want this to happen."
I expected there to be like an additional charge or favor
Negotiate.
for being allowed to do this, and I appreciate the consideration that they're giving us.
Yes, indeed. So we have over the years received reports from those who have ventured but not actually gone into the dark side, that they've seen some sort of humanoids out there. We've never had them cross over into the ribbon. We don't really know what what there is out there. But in the darkness, there have been shapes moving about. We would like you to, if you go out there, try and identify what these might be. Now we do
How
know.
big are they?
Well, really hard to tell. They're humanoid in form, so 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head-like shape. It's very, very dark out there, so it's very difficult to see, and most of this is coming from the dwarves who have caverns that reach out there, so they can easily get to frozen
The
ice
rest of
and
the party. With us.
snow for the water. Everyone can be around if you want. That's fine.
Yeah.
I
Like you
would
could've
like to
gathered.
say something.
Mhm.
Would you like proof of these people? If it's a monster, do you want part of their body part back, or is it?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you could bring back a corpse or
What-
a prisoner,
What do we do
or,
if they're humanoids?
well, I
they're
mean,
living?
if you can bring back a corpse or a prisoner or something, that would certainly
Prisoner?
tell us what they are. Obviously, whatever you do learn would be a value. But if you are out there and you do not encounter them, that would be good to know as well. That would at least eliminate some theories and questions that we have. In addition, should you encounter any other creatures out there, we do know that there are some things that live in the ice and snow. Should you encounter any of them, with a detailed analysis of what you encounter would be of beneficial information to the Kadriloth Zoological Society. This is mostly coming from them. Again, corpses or prisoners would be of help.
Is there? I've got a very specific question. Is there a ruling or governing body that disallows settlement of escaped prisoners out there? I.e., would we be expected to bring them back? I.e., they're unsettling lawfully, unsettling unlawfully, so to speak. In other words, what do we do if we find a load of prisoners just living out there?
Well, I mean, the exile rules that tend to be imposed aren't strictly exile. It's more go out there, do a thing, come back with proof, and the crime will be absolved. To my knowledge, no one has come back, which is one reason why the council
so what
is
happens
not
if we
terribly concerned with. I mean, It's one of the reasons why the council is
Paladins.
willing to consider your proposal. I'll be perfectly honest, they don't think you'll be coming back.
Right.
Yeah, well, we are adventurers.
But should you
Yeah.
come back, this sort of information that you could provide to us would be very beneficial.
Do you have bookmakers here, sir?
Bookmakers? Of course we have bookmakers.
Can we make a wager on us coming back?
Oh.
Perhaps?
Oh,
Knock on the
that
door.
sort of... I thought you meant bookbinders, sir. No,
Sorry.
no, you should know that gambling is strictly prohibited, except in
Right.
very, very certain circumstances.
Fair enough.
So stay on
Well, then-
course here, people.
Yeah.
That's fair. Braxon is
Yeah.
the sailor after all.
Well, retired farmer, more like.
Wow.
Do you have any legends of the creation of Radol that might explain these creatures?
Well, there's a lot of theory. As you may have heard, this planet was clearly designed by someone. Some people say it was gods. Some people say it was an ancient spacefaring race. Some people say it was the Rhaegar. Others say it was the Arcane. Me, myself, I think most of that is bunk. Although there are convincing arguments that the Shield Wall Mountains, he points to the mountains that are behind you, separating the ribbon and the sun side from the dark side. And he says, there are some convincing arguments that these mountains were actually built up around ancient structures that you can sometimes find within them.
Right.
We have quite a few scholars who investigate those, but they're not. We don't typically allow in outsiders to investigate them. Although we have
Yeah.
on occasion. It's very rare, however. Whether that's connected to the reports of beings out in the snowy ice wastes of Darkside, I don't know. Those reports are really only been coming in the last 75 years, perhaps.
Right.
About the only people who go out there are dwarves or gnomes. And, of course, the prisoners who get sent out there, who, as I've said, to my knowledge, none have returned.
Mhm. All right. So the condition on us being able to explore these two.
Oh, sorry.
areas.
Those are the conditions for the dark side.
Right.
Dark side. Okay.
Investigate the reports of the humanoids, and should you come across any living creatures out there, bring back evidence, or at least detailed reports of what you encounter. And of course, we will expect you mentioned a map leading to some location out there. We would expect a full report, completely truthful, of what you find there. Now, what we will require after that, whether we will expect to keep anything you find there or whether we will allow it off planet, will depend entirely on what you find. You understand? If it is something old, something that was clearly here, as some people suspect, by the builders of this place, we would wish it to stay here. If it is new, something left here by someone in the last, few hundred, maybe 1,000 years, now, that is likely to be termed an undesirable foreign influence, and we would not have too much concern with it being taken off. You understand you understand this requirement, do you?
I understand. Would there be any sort of finder's fee or reward for information about what that is? If it
That's
is
the
something
condition
that
of
was-
our release.
Well, not a condition of your release, but he does say, well, no, I mean, this
Any bonus then?
is what we're allowing you to go out there. That's
Okay.
the payment enough, shall we say.
Okay, I understand.
Now, as to the sun side, again, we, to be perfectly honest, do not expect you to come back. But should you do so, like with the dark side, a full report of whatever you find. In addition, there are known creatures out there. Should you encounter them, they're large insect-like creatures with very shiny shells, very large shells. Should you encounter one of them, we would like one of these shells brought back to us.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We have not
How large?
well, that's the thing. We don't
Oh.
know how big they get. We do not know how small they get. They've only been spotted by ships flying up above on occasion. Occasionally they are spotted coming to basically the very edge of the ribbon. None have ever come into the ribbon. We suspect that it is far too cold here. But should you see any of them, we would like at least one shell returned and any other information that you can determine of the area.
Are we allowed to bring a cart or a big enough object to bring this shell back with? I assume you would have no problem with this. Like a if we wanted to like a caravan or a sled, something to drag it back. If it's going to be like a big shell, we can't carry it in our hands.
Well, I mean, if you you can get a cart that can go out there, yes. I do not believe anyone would be willing to sell you any pack animals to draw.
Yeah,
such
I
a thing,
saw a
however.
rule ruling about that.
Yeah. We do have a dire wolf that could pull it.
Well, that is it is entirely up to you. I mean, keep in
But we
mind
would
it
not
is
be breaking
very hot
any
out there.
laws.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem with the hot side.
So,
I can use enjoy elements on the board.
how do we get to the edges without? People don't normally go out there. So we'd be going into territory you don't normally allow people into. How do we get out there?
Well, if you're willing to agree to the terms, we can either escort you or take you in a ship to the edge of the ribbon to get to the sun side. The dark side is another matter. We would escort you to one of the dwarven realms that dot the mountains. Most of them have caverns leading out onto the dark side so that we can exile individuals, as well as so they can retrieve ice and snow for keeping their larders cold and just having easy supplies of water. Such places are very tightly locked and very highly guarded. You would be blindfolded going through their lands, if that would be satisfactory to you.
Oh,
That should be fine.
I've a
Yeah.
question regarding
Yeah.
is there a herbalist that has a book on known flora, i.e. stuff that's poisonous or not poisonous? I mean, something to give us a helping hand. I mean, if you happen to know, is there someone that has like a book or something to give us like a guideline on known stuff?
You mean out in the sun side or the dark side?
Yeah.
To the best of our
Potentially.
knowledge, there's no plant life out there, in either of them.
All right, that solves that problem.
And here in the ribbon, there are no poisonous plants.
None.
Not a one.
Well, you do seem to
That seems
have.
awfully tranquil.
Yeah.
Well, this is a paradise, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, you do seem to have taken excellent
I'm just
precautions.
surprised.
Interesting. Definitely doesn't sound like a natural because
Yeah, because there needs to be. That's not a balanced ecosystem.
Planet that doesn't rotate doesn't sound natural at all.
Yeah, I suppose.
It rotates. It just doesn't rotate
Oh.
So the
The sun
pole,
stays in the same fixed.
yeah, the pole is always facing the sun. Like even when it goes all the way around. So in other words, the quote unquote south pole, the pole facing away from the star, actually has a slightly longer arc than the internal pole. So it's not strictly tidally locked in the normal sense of what we would think of like the moon. But
it just rotates at 90 degrees.
yes, and unlike like in a real solar system. I mean, one of our planets, I think it's Neptune or Uranus, one of the two, has an almost 90-degree tilt to it. But the angle of the tilt is always facing in the same direction, so sometimes it'll be facing at the sun, sometimes away, kind of thing. But Radol, the quote unquote North Pole, is always facing the sun.
Uranus.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one. It's been a while since I've looked at that stuff.
Yeah, that one's that's the one that's tilted sideways.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
98 degrees.
It's not like tidally locked in what we think of in real astronomy means that the rotation of the planet is such that it's almost the same as the orbit period. So a day is a year, and one side is always facing the star.
So this has a day, but the day is the planet turning in a way that doesn't move the sun in the sky.
Correct. Yeah, so it does rotate. But, I mean, given the fact that there is a ring of mountains...
Yeah, that's
right at the equator, basically. You know, I mean, it's...
It's not natural.
No.
Yeldan's picking up on that real fast.
Well, unless the gods made them.
Right. Now, I do have a map. This is from the book that Radel was detailed in. One thing to note about this, and this is actually going to be cut off on the stream, it's a bad map in that if you look at it, this is clearly, like, the ribbon is drawn there on, like, the prime meridian, failing to take into account that it would continue around on the other side.
Yeah.
Like, the ribbon should be all along this the center equator line as opposed to top down. And it needs to be, like, completely redone.
That's a horrid... Like,
yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, so...
like, the fact is, it's like a stretched out, and it's not, like, there's no, like, cutting centers in the top.
The person who did the maps in that book was... I mean, the maps are good in that they give you a feel for the world and stuff like that, but they failed to understand projections. Anyway, so that's... You know, this gives you an idea of what the planet is like from that perspective. That said, the dark side, you really can't see anything, and you haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah, so that stuff we see on the map there, we wouldn't know any of those details.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't know any of those details as well. We just know the Shield Wall Mountains.
Yeah. All right, so you're willing to agree to the rules that you laid out?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the only method they're giving us, so we might as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you could make a counter offer. I mean, if you feel
Well,
like it, you could make a counter offer. I'm not saying you have to.
I kind of did a little bit, but about the finder's fee thing.
Well, I mean, you could say, what if instead of that we just paid you X amount of money? Like you were asking, are we going to get any money in addition to finding this information?
I guess so, yeah, I'll put it out there. Well, they seem really attached to the stuff for their planet.
Do we
so
get
I
any
don't
time
know if that would be that.
Do we get any time to discuss this and have parley?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Does he want an answer straight away from us, or can we have a
I
discussion
assume
about
we're
this
like
and get back to
eating
it?
food, just talking in the room or something.
No,
No, I
this
mean,
is
do we-
on
No.
deck. He's detailing
on
all
deck,
this
huh?
on deck. He just came up on deck and he's
Yeah.
meeting you guys. If
Oh,
you,
actually, you
I
know
mean,
what?
if you want to say, can we have
Yeah,
a few days
Braxton.
to talk about this, or can we have some time to talk about this?
Yeah. Braxton says, "Can we have some time to discuss this, please?"
He
I think
says,
we'll be-
well, I mean, yes. How long do you think you'd need to discuss it?
Just next day.
One day.
I don't think we need
I
that.
will mention.
Or in the afternoon, come back in the
I
afternoon.
don't suppose they would just, out of curiosity, would they just accept like charging a fee or a amount to be able to do this expedition?
He scratches his chin and says, well, I'd have to go back and talk to the council.
This is costing us money, by the way, just sitting here.
Yeah.
It's not
I mean,
that
since you said you wanted a
horrible
day to discuss it, how about I come back about this time tomorrow and we discuss it. I'll get an answer for a potential just outright fee.
All right.
Sounds
That
good.
An exploration fee or something.
All right.
Once again, I really appreciate all the consideration your side is giving us in this regard.
Well, I mean, it's to a certain extent. Should you all die, it's no sweat off our back. And if you come back with information, well, Zoological Society would be very appreciative.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm surprised Well, actually, would Yeldan want to visit there? Would he feel hatred going there? Because I don't know how rangers deal with zoos.
It's not a zoo. It's a zoological society which study animals. They aren't actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it might pay a visit well, it might be in our interest if we paid a visit there.
Well,
I don't think
when,
we're able to.
well, it depends whether it's in our quarter or not.
Could we ask for a permit?
Well, we could, but he's gone.
Yeah.
Unless you've asked before he's gone.
You
Yeah,
have
that's the
Yeldan's
stuff
not-
I thought about.
Yeah, that's not interesting.
Okay. So he leaves.
Yep, he has left.
Okay.
Right. So Braxton says, "I don't know that I need a day. The only thing I wanted to point out is that he said if we find something old, they're going to want to keep it."
No,
Usually
he didn't say
archaeology stuff.
specifically old. He said ancient.
Yeah.
Very big difference between the two.
Yeah, but if we found something ancient, are we going to want to keep it?
Generally, if it's ancient, it's unlikely that it'll have any practical use unless it's magical in nature.
Depending
I
how
gotta-
big it is, I could
I-
just pack it up.
Not
I
with
got-
Well,
Feeling. If
hold on.
I-
Let me get a couple things out here. So if it's small, we can pack it up and just hide it. He said truthfully. So my guess is that they might, with how paranoid they are. You saw them that had wands before. They're asking us the questions truthfully. I think they might have some magical means of making sure that we're telling the truth about what we do.
Yeah.
Lafdul
They
could
might.
vouch for that.
They might.
So would Ockar.
Not
actually.
necessarily saying they would, but they could.
Yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
my concern with not letting us take anything into it is what if it's something we need to do for the next part of this map? Because on the map, it's detailing this planet, right? And 2 spots on this planet we have to go to, correct?
And then you had a chart leading to another sphere in the Phlogiston.
Yeah. So it might be
Yeah.
something that we need for this other section. I don't know what it is until we get there and we find out what it is that we're seeing here. So that'd be my concern. That's why I asked him about the other. If we can't, we can't. So I think we should see if the outright fee is good enough. And then if it's not, we just have to go with it anyway. I prefer just to do the fee, but if not, we'll do the other one and see if it's something that we can just duplicate for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's another map or it's instructions or something along that lines. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah.
remember, Lafdul's spell said we need that other object.
What spell? What? Hey.
The idea spell, remember?
Oh, that thingy. Yeah, that's a thought. I haven't cast idea.
Yes,
That's gonna happen tonight, Odd.
Okay,
Cast idea.
real fast regarding the idea spell. I'm gonna say that in the future, if you cast multiple idea spells within a short,
No, it's got 8
game,
hours.
I understand, but within a short game time period, you're gonna get the exact same answer, even if a lot of time has passed.
Oh no, I'll only cast one in
Yeah.
case we have forgotten some.
But anyways, as I was saying, Lafdul's spell says we need that object. Since the guy's gone and we're below decks, what does the object look like again?
It's
It's a cylinder. It's a cylinder of metal.
cylinder. It's got something inside of it, isn't it?
It's one end is hollow.
Oh, funny I had my ring. Could see what's inside.
Is the
Oh,
whole
lad.
thing hollow? Like, I'll tap on it. Like,
It doesn't sound hollow.
it doesn't
Well-
sound hollow until you get to the bottom bit, which is open.
Is there any
right?
like museum or something, an equivalent here?
Not in the foreign section.
Hmm.
I'll spend a little bit of time examining it, just
Yeah.
on the inside, see like there's
Does it look
actually
like it's part of like a 3-part thing or something?
You really can't tell. So I mean, it's about the length of a human's arm, about similar, length around the forearm from fist down to elbow kind of thing. One end is hollow, and it's deep enough that you could like stick your hand in before you hit the other end. And there are not cut all the way through, but there are indentations at that end. A lot of them are square, and then there are some symbols around it that you can't make heads or tails of. They're just like squiggles to you.
It could be some sort of weird key.
Yeah, it might be. All right, well, we'll deal with it when it comes. But is what I said okay with her?
Yeah,
Prefer
but
the money
I got
thing?
I got a feeling either way the stipulations is
Yeah.
they're gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no objection to us telling them what sort of creatures we find on the dark
Oh,
side
yeah,
and the
I-
Or
light
bring
side.
him back and stuff.
Yeah.
It's certainly a
would keep
rather lengthy
detailed-
PM.
I would keep. I'll just get a book, purchase a book, and a blank book, and write detailed notes in it.
I mean, we can certainly give or sell the information to the seekers as well.
I guess I'll buy 2 books then.
Did you already buy one before, or are you going out to buy 2 books right now?
That's
Yeah,
the
because it's
plan,
50% markup as well.
Yeah, no, but I never did say I bought a book, and I never.
I've
wrote
got
it
a
down.
book, but I keep it for my.
Yeah, no.
I would rather not waste that book on other things if we can help it.
All right, give me a second. I'll ask how big of a book you want in a second. I need to just get to.
I assume it'd be like a small, less than 50-page thing, like a really small, like pamphlet
Oh.
book.
All right.
Oh.
Well, so more of a
Notebook.
So it would be about 9 by 12 inches is going to be the standard book size. You can get larger ones, like those tend to be called tomes, but a standard book you don't get little pocket-sized books because that's
Yeah,
a lot
not in
harder
this day
to
and age.
bind. How many pages do you want?
I assume less than 50. Unless you plan on. Because you
It
plan on.
has to
What do
be
you plan on doing with
fairly-
this book?
It's for note taking.
For this trip?
Do 50 pages. I mean, that doesn't seem like
Yeah.
a whole hell of a lot.
Also, regarding you keeping notes, does it have to be in a certain language? Because Common and Elven's more
They've
less
been,
readily
They've been
available.
speaking to you in common, so
It might make more sense for like Leather or someone else to write it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just saying because.
They'll have to deal with my notes on animals and elements. I'm the animal.
All right.
I mean, to a certain
actually-
extent, they also didn't say it must be written in a certain language. They actually didn't say it must be written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got
Just
notes. I mean,
information.
translating it isn't that hard.
I actually think that writing it in Elvish might be an advantage because if they want it translated, then we give them a translation.
They have elves here.
They have
Yeah.
They
elves.
do.
There's a whole city
do.
of them.
All right, so you're looking for a 50-page book.
Considering the size of the pages, yeah, I think 50 pages should, well, 2 50-page books.
I might end up buying a book as well, actually. So I might do. No, I'll be documenting any kind of flora I find.
Yes, they want 50-page books. Oh,
So 50-page books will be 100 gold pieces.
Eek. All right, done.
And I will toss in vials of ink and quills along with that.
Thanking you. Maybe I should have stolen it.
How much do they weigh?
Mine's just
They
getting in a
weigh. I think they're going to weigh 2 pounds each.
2 pounds each?
That's pretty light for a book.
Actually, I'm
You
only
think
going to be
so?
actually carrying 1.
All right, I'll go
Old.
3 pounds then.
God damn it!
Yes, Higgimus.
did they say which side they wanted us to do first?
They did not say.
They just had.
And I mean, I will tell you. I mean, you got the impression that they don't really care. I mean, again, they don't think you're coming back. They think you're going to die. So if you do one,
So we might.
I mean, if you do one and you give them information, then you go off and do the other one and you die. Again, no sweat off their back, and they're coming out ahead.
Yeah.
Which
They
side
think we're
would
going to
we-
die twice.
Which side would you guys like to do first? Die first.
Yes. Where would you like to die first, hot or cold?
Cold,
I was gonna-
cold,
Colder.
when it's done with, and go and we can go to the heat to warm up.
Okay.
Yeah, if we do the cold.
I would suggest the hot side first because it's actually harder
Is it?
to survive in, I would figure.
Yeah, it's harder to survive in heat than it is in cold.
Not if we're prepared properly.
Even if we're prepared, right? Because there's going to be a huge drain of water.
Yeah, water's the hardest resource to get. Snow you can always melt down.
I think water is going to be fine. Both Lafdul and myself can deal with water.
I've had
Oh,
no
yeah.
problems getting my spells here, yeah.
No, you have not. You've gotten. You did not have to cast your contact home power at all. The elven deities are worshipped in this sphere.
So you
Yeah.
ask your question, and as usual, you got 2 totally different answers. Take your pick.
Yeah.
We'll do the cold side first.
You guys want to vote on it? Or you guys
I think
okay
we
with
need
that?
to vote. We got to do both in the end anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah.
Braxon votes for cold first.
Lafdul votes code. Alright, 2 votes. No one else is voting.
Oh, I
I'm
said
waiting.
we're going to do
I
cold.
already said what I meant,
Oh, sorry.
and Higgimus said his piece too.
So that's 4 for cold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm good with cold.
Well, I guess Yeldan's outvoted then. Same person who knows.
Our expert on surviving
Yeah.
is being forced into.
I'll do with the cold
We're
first.
going against his suggestion.
Oh,
We
okay.
might need to rest up in the middle anyway.
I'm happy that I got my wolf a little coat to wear.
Oh, this little padded thing.
Yeah, the
probably
padded
does help
armor I
quite a
got
bit.
for it. I basically got it a coat.
I do
How do-
want to check to make sure there's about any laws about the wagons, our little wagon thing, about leaving things. Well, not necessarily things
Littering.
behind,
There
but-
are no laws about leaving things on the sun side or the dark side. There are, as far as you can tell, no laws about conduct out there at all. There aren't even laws banning people from going there.
Are there any laws about bringing stuff into the city from out there?
No. This is
They don't expect it
That's
to
right. That's a
happen.
good.
That's
no,
why.
that's good. Alright,
is-
Well,
just
this
bring
is a
back our
first
horde
for
of
them,
goblins.
so if we make it back, it'll be the first for them. So
Mhm.
they'll make their laws after we get back.
or at least the first commonly known things. I mean, for all you know, people have done it before, and
Never told them. And they're probably residents at the place too, though. Which
or the news didn't get spread around. I mean, you know.
Yeah, if we're only telling the authorities, they might suppress the knowledge. You know, you can keep the excerpts, so don't mention anything to anyone.
So,
In other words, don't tell the seekers.
so Braxon says to Higgimus, you, me, and Ockar are going to be the people that have problems seeing in the night side.
Why?
Because it's continually dark.
I
You've
have
got
light.
lamps.
I have my continual light stone that
Stones.
Leva made for me.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
can always create them. Leva can create more.
Didn't I make one for you too, Braxon?
You've got.
Oh, he's got a lantern.
Okay.
But if anything stops that working,
We can make more. You've got 2 casters that can do it.
okay.
I
Mhm.
will mention to that go to that merchant again and purchase the items that
Okay.
that I mentioned before.
How
for supplies.
many days of food do you want to buy? Also,
2 weeks.
all prices for you are going to be doubled, just FYI.
At least 2 weeks per person.
That sounds about good.
Okay,
we should
2 weeks per person for food for the dark side. All right.
buy as much as we can carry. Sell off
Well,
Well,
everything
I
we
can
don't.
always, I can always supplement it.
So
Good.
that means we
Last
also need
size.
the food for the light side as well. Dark.
Yeah,
the
well, we won't worry
firewood.
about the
Yeah,
light side yet.
Yeah, I mean, you get supplies for that
Do you want
later.
some?
You don't need to just have it carry. You don't need to carry it around.
We gotta see if we can live through the dark side first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Old's not planned out their light side whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh, I've actually.
He's actually
yes.
done with this scenario.
Yeah, I'm done with this scenario entirely. Just filling out
You go
little
up.
bits based on things that you do that I wasn't quite expecting, or that I just loosely detailed so that I could ad lib it. Like, you guys go into whist.
You didn't quite expect, so
Oh, you didn't expect that one?
I did not expect that one.
He obviously didn't expect that.
Of course he doesn't, because we always do things he never expects.
Which is why I roll with it. Okay, so 2 weeks of food for everyone, including Higgimus, is going to run. Oh, you want food for the? You're going to bring the wolf along too, right?
Yeah, I think the stoat's coming along as well. Sleek.
That can just eat some of Leva's. I mean, it's a tiny thing. It can eat just eat some of Leva's things.
he's done so before.
And we're taking the wolf because he can actually.
He's got a heavy wolf.
Alt's figuring that out now.
Okay, so 2 weeks of food for everyone. The 6 PCs and Beowulf will run 378 gold pieces. That's for 2 weeks of food.
Okay.
Now for 2 weeks of firewood.
A lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper.
This
He
is
says 78 to an 370.
Yeah, 378. All right, so you guys may want to figure out what you're going to do about carrying all that.
I thought we were
buy
gonna
a
get like a
sled.
wagon or something, or
Okay.
a sled.
Yeah,
Lever
we
can carry 100 pounds.
There's for the firewood. You're looking at.
Yeah, I thought we bought a sled before we set out. So
I thought so too.
No, you said you were gonna wait
No, we
until you
wanted to
got
buy
here.
it here in case there were laws against it.
Right.
All right, so the firewood is just 14 silver pieces,
Okay.
and it weighs 42 pounds in total.
We should have bought a magical campfire.
Well,
Now, the problem with the sled is that since this place is permanently in a spring morning, it's always 75 degrees Fahrenheit.
They don't need them.
They don't have any sleds.
well, how could we custom order one?
Do you
That'll
want to
take too
spend
long.
time?
Hang on. The dwarves live in the mountains.
The miners, they might
and they go into the night side to pick up snow. They must use
Yeah,
something.
they could probably have some.
might have something.
It wouldn't be in the district that we're in.
How big is that wood in not square, cubic feet?
Yeah. Could you
How
fit
many
it in the
cords
bag?
of wood is it? Is there? I believe is the term.
We could probably make the wood smaller to fit into it if you want to put it in a bag of holding.
I want to put it into my what's it called? Gown of holding, or coat of holding.
I don't
Is that
actually
actually a
know
thing of
how
holding?
big a cord of wood is. Let me see if I can get that.
No, it's probably of pockets, like a
I
coat
thought
of
you were
pockets.
magically enchanting it. I didn't realize it was already enchanted.
She has to wear it when she does that, though.
I don't.
I mean,
Anyone can wear it.
Wow.
you could put it in your thing of holding. I mean, you don't have to worry about the wood getting less exquisite.
A cord of wood
Yes,
is like
but
It's 128 cubic feet, 4 by 4 by 8. So
That's
that's
big.
I mean that's a lot of wood. It's
It
probably
is.
not that much. It's probably half a cord then.
Okay.
Could we have it cut up into smaller parts and we just start funneling it all into this bag?
Where did you get that measurement for the cord of wood?
Google.
Wiktionary, a unit of measurement for firewood equal to 128 cubic feet, 4 by 4 by 8 feet, composed of logs and or split logs, 4 feet long and none over 8 inches in diameter.
Leather.
Yep.
Hmm?
That sounds about right.
You have the mount spell. You can make a pack mule, a lower level pack mule, to
Can I?
carry weight. Yeah, you can. I know you've got that spell, haven't you?
Old? Can I?
Look at the spell.
Yeah, look at the spell.
Uh,
The spell does what
I
it says.
don't know if I remember looking
okay.
at the spell.
That's my problem.
Because
Braxon says, I've got an idea. If we need to carry firewood on sleds and we start running out of firewood, we can chop up the sleds we no longer need if we take personal sleds, and then we can burn the sleds.
Okay, but
Yeah.
there's a problem. We need to get sleds, and apparently this place doesn't have sleds.
Well, if the dwarves go into the cold to pick up snow, they must use something to bring it back.
We'll see if they have sleds for sale.
I was thinking of a face cord. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
there we go.
Yeah, you can do. You need to know a lower level casting, but it will have carrying capacity. And the duration's 2 hours plus an hour level, so you just keep on
Yeah.
recasting that.
I just found it. It's draft horse. I had to first look whether it's one of the ones I actually forgot. Whether I ever, it's one of the ones I erased, but I didn't, so I still have it. Draft horse or war horse.
You go. Well.
Hmm?
I don't know if you can do it twice lower.
You should be able to do it at any level lower that you want. I mean,
It comes with riding gear. Saddle.
normally if something improves at higher levels, but the improvement is
Yeah.
like
It only
better
says
for
riding
specific
gear.
purposes than other things, then you can almost definitely cast it at to get the yeah. So available mounts include the following. So once
Mhm.
you're
Yeah,
at
does it say-
7th
it says
level, you can
riding
get
gear.
mule or light horse or draft horse or war horse.
Yes.
So there you go. You get whatever it says at your current level and anything lower.
So how much can be carried by a
It
draft
doesn't
or
state. That's the problem.
It doesn't say there, but it says in the equipment section of the player's
would it
handbook.
be based on that? Would it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a draft horse or a mule.
Where does it say that? I mean, where does it say how much the horse can carry?
Table 49, carrying capacities of animals under equipment encumbrance.
Ah,
A mule, base movement can carry up to 250 pounds. A draft horse can carry up to 260 pounds at base movement. 2/3 movement is, more.
Yeah, it's easily enough.
let me see. That's 14 hours, isn't it? 14, 15 hours. 7.
Yeah, we're not going to be traveling more than 12 hours a day anyway. Unlikely.
Yeah, and if we get attacked on the 13th hour, you're going to carry it all on your own.
Yeah, we just camp.
Yeah, we can do that.
I mean, I'm going to be taking more utilitarian spells than I do combat spells. I'm going to have to take a lot of healing spells, or where I can,
Uh-huh.
because I don't want to be stuck in downtime waiting for healing. So I'm going to rely on the good old fighters to beat them down. That's what they do most of the time, anyway.
Or
I mean, given
fill it
that
full of arrows.
if it says that it comes with like riding gear, I would also say that
Saddlebags could be alternate.
yeah, I mean it would come you could alter it to not be riding gear, but to have it have
Pack gear.
yeah, pack gear. That's what I was looking for. So you wouldn't get a saddle, but instead you'd get the saddle bags and the bigger packs and stuff like that would either be on top or on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
You could fill
straps
books
and
with
stuff
what
like
I
that.
don't know. You could fill books with what I don't know about these type of animals. So saddlebags, pack bags. Yeah, okay. So we have 250 pounds.
Yeah, we can put all our feed and stuff in that. Yeah.
Do these horses need to eat?
They're magical.
Well, so?
They will. I mean, for the duration of the spell, they are, for all intents and purposes, normal animals. So, I'm pretty sure, because one of the classic tricks to do was to cast the mount spell and then go try and sell it.
Oh, look, Braxon, some way to make money.
No, Braxon wouldn't do that.
And the people at TSR basically said any horse trader worth their salt would be able to tell a creature created from a mount spell maybe not instantaneously, but worth their salt, they'd know how to tell the difference. Or they'd say, yeah, let me keep it for a day, and then we'll come to an agreement, so that it could, if it disappears in that time,
just
then
get an extend duration spell on it or something. I think there's a spell like that.
The mount does not come with any riding gear unless it is of a class lower than the caster would normally be entitled to. Okay, so yeah.
It doesn't matter. A donkey's good enough anyway.
Yeah, but caster level 4 to 7 has draft horse and war horse. So if I go for,
you have to go category down.
Oh, actually, so it's not actually a magically created animal. It's a summoned. It's a conjured animal. It's brought from somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor horse.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's from like a parallel, another plane, when it comes.
So I mean, you can still do it, but any weather effects and stuff can still apply to the animals.
I mean, if fatigues, I can cast spells on that animal to prevent fatigue. I mean, we're probably more better able to deal with it.
Hey,
Would the people in Radol could complain if I walked around and collected hairs for horse hair and draft and mule hair?
Did you spend the money to buy material components back on Brawl?
Yes.
Then
Yeah,
you've
that'll
got
just
you've got all of
last.
that
That's
stuff.
just hair.
Yeah, I mean you've got.
Okay.
I mean that's the thing is I mean that covers all of the usual stuff. You've got tufts of hair to cast these spells enough times and stuff like that. You'll just have to do this after each of these trips out and back.
Yep.
Okay.
We're a bit late. We were a bit delayed. Both Lafdul and I didn't quite do it last time, but at least
No, we did afterwards. I did anyway.
I did afterwards.
Okay. I mean, because you could do it here too, but it's just
It would be more expensive here.
there are shops that sell material components. So, all right. So, you the idea is to ask the dwarves for something.
Yes.
Okay.
Leads.
Okay, so the day passes. You guys have discussed it, and I'm blanking on his name. I need to get back there. Graydon returns, and he says to you guys, "Well, I discussed it with the council. They would consider just taking an outright fee, but they're looking at 25,000 gold pieces."
25?
25,000.
It's like non-negotiable. Wow.
It's not negotiable, no.
All right, I'm going to turn to everybody else.
They would still require keeping, that would only mean you wouldn't need to search for or get evidence of whatever is out there, get the creature parts. We would still require you to give a full detailed analysis of what you encounter out there, what you find at the end, and we would then determine whether it's something that we would wish to keep here on Radol, or whether it is a foreign influence that we would want to get rid of.
One sec. I'll turn to everybody else. All right. I think just the original plan then.
Yeah, I mean that amount of gold, and they might decide they want to keep it anyway.
Yeah,
We'd be
I agree.
losing money.
We would be losing money big time.
All right. So yeah, I'll turn around and say, all right, the first offer that you provided or offered
Is agreeable.
Is agreeable.
He has
we will
tight
get
smile.
information. Yeah.
He has a tight smile and says, "Yes, I do believe that they put a price at such a point that would encourage you to go with the first offer."
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not looking
saying
to lose that much money coming in.
Yeah, not saying this out loud in the game, but yeah, it didn't free up as many options as I would think for them.
Braxon would be quite willing to say, "Tell him well played, sir."
I mean, to a certain
Well
extent, that would be a lot better for them if you just paid that. And again, like, I mean, they would be like, "Oh yeah," so happy if you just said, "All right, here's the money," because they're still expecting a detailed rundown of what you encounter, which you might encounter those things anyway. You wouldn't have to bring back stuff about it, but they're still going to get reports from you if you come back, which they don't expect. And before you go, they're getting a big lump sum of cash. So,
yeah. And they said in the first offer that we only had to bring stuff back if we could.
Yeah, but they
So
do
if we can't,
expect.
we can't.
But part of that is like, I mean,
They
if
have
you,
to
At
try.
least try.
if you
Yeah.
if you encounter something that's 200 feet long, they understand that you wouldn't be able to bring it back, but they would still expect evidence.
Yeah, like a part of it.
I will mention the if
We don't have to drag a purple worm back.
we will mention that we weren't able to find a sled here. We would ask if the dwarves would have something we could purchase off of them for like a sled.
Ah, so you're expecting to go to the dark side first.
I think so. Yes.
Ah, okay. I don't really know what they have, but when
You would
we
imagine they would
bring
have
you
some
there, we
sort
can
of
certainly ask.
You imagine
Okay.
they would have some sort of transportation for when they go and collect snow.
Yeah, it doesn't happen
they
very often.
may very well do, but I do not know what that would be.
Okay.
How
So
about
yeah, I think that's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he then looks at you and says, "All right, well, I did hear that you purchased some supplies. The firewood should be in today.
Yeah,
Will you need
excellent.
any other time to prepare?"
Oh, Braxon turns to Yeldan and says, if we can't get sleds, can you make a travois?"
I don't know if that'd be in Yeldan's purview, would it?
Nah, I know
What's a
how to.
travois?
It's
Yeah.
like
Out of
couple of
Any
sticks.
carpenter will know how to make that. I reckon you'd know. It's a common
I know,
enough
and I
thing.
make it right now. All right.
Well,
I'll
what
turn to the
materials
rest of my
would you need to make that? I mean, like, what do you think you'd want?
Rope.
Couple
rope
of
and
sticks.
Basically a pallet in a load of rope.
It's a couple of
Essentially.
sticks that you kind of make a
Yeah.
stretcher, and you can drag someone along.
Would that be enough to carry something large, or is that just, I mean,
It would
I-
tear if the
Our
materials
character,
were strong enough.
I don't know how big a weight it could pull.
okay. Well,
But
I mean, if you have supplies, then you can. I mean, it's pretty common supplies there. Poles and canvas or cloth of some sort.
Is there any strong, large amount of canvas? It could be like a worst case scenario. We could always get that.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
sailcloth, and that's pretty tough cloth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
got some
thinking-
of that. We don't need to buy it.
Well, you would still
I'm
probably
just-
want to buy it because I mean, there's plenty of cloth, and even Radal has low quality cloth for like burlap sacks and stuff like that. You're not necessarily gonna need the highest quality stuff, but you probably also don't want to use your own sailcloth because that's for repairing sails and replacing sails.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm figuring that we would be better off if we can get one-man sleds, and that we can chop up the sleds for firewood, if we don't need them anymore. But failing that, if we could make travois, or if we could have stuff on there that makes a travois that we could also burn, if we need to. That gives us some options.
I mean, it's
Are
up to
we
you guys.
making it more
We got
complicated again?
2 weeks worth of firewood.
I'm changing my spells out, so I'm not really paying too much attention. Sorry.
Well,
I mean, he doesn't know what the dwarves would have, so
yeah.
Mhm.
if there's something that you want to buy first, buy now, you might want to do it.
Yeah, I think we should get supplies for a travois just in case.
And I guess I can carry it.
Well, why don't we have supplies for one each, or one each for the people that can pull some weight?
Yeah.
And then Higgimus can take most of the weight, but the other fighters can pull their fair share of firewood.
And we're taking a
as-
wolf with us, so he can help too.
Yeah, if he's warm enough.
He's got his fur, and he's having a padded clothing on top of that as a armor, so he'll probably be okay.
Yeah, I'm just thinking we could all be taking food and firewood and
Mhm.
All right. We're making this too complicated. I don't want to
Yeah.
spend another 30 minutes talking about this. All right. So we will get what is necessary for a little travois that Higgimus can pull if need be, if we need to. And we'll get the firewood that we need, and then I guess we need to set off. Or say we can leave tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you only want one travois.
Higgimus sized one, yes.
Yeah. All right.
I would rather have one per fire.
Yeldan probably would not be pulling weight, so I'm gonna point this out because he's like scout person sorts in the wild.
I'll get one for Ockar will get one.
Yeah, Braxon will get one.
I just realized if I get this if I use the man spell, I will need to buy saddle bags and
No,
all
you
sorts of
can
things.
you denote a level lower, and you get it automatically.
If you do the mule rather than the draft horse, you get the
You get the appropriate equipment.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I was saying. A mule will be fine, or whatever.
It's a shame.
You'll probably be better to carry things on its back like that anyway.
all right,
Draft horse
so
would be better.
3 Travois.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. You go out and purchase. Obviously, no one would actually have Travois made, but you can go out and
It's easy
purchase
enough
the
to make.
equipment, and they're easy enough to make. So the total supplies, materials ends up coming to 20 gold pieces.
Hey, spending so much money on this.
20
Yeah.
gold pieces is
Hopefully
not that
we'll
much.
get-
It's not bad.
Okay.
Mhm. So 20 gold pieces each.
No,
No.
total.
Total.
Ah,
I
okay.
took care of it. I took care of it.
Okay.
I mean, because it's pretty basic stuff, poles and cloth and things like that. But you
Yeah,
know,
that's what it is.
so all right. So you got that, and he says, all right. So you need another day to prepare, or are you ready to go?
Just to make
Uh,
sure we're ready to go. Yeah, a day.
Okay.
One day, so I can cast
Mhm.
a couple of spells as well.
We can take off tomorrow morning
All right.
or whatever morning is here.
You just say like 10 bells or something.
Or eight bells. That's when everything starts.
All right. So Lafdul it was asking me about getting a new holy symbol because he's going to need one.
Good luck with that,
I was
dude.
asking basically, do I need to roleplay it out, or because it's a difficult environment?
Well, so if you want to pick a specific item, then we can. I mean, either way, I'm going to have to do some checks because yes, it is a more difficult environment. But you can alter that if you can think of something that might be easier to get.
Is there? No, I was gonna say orphanages.
No.
Wouldn't be in the foreign district.
Yeah, there's gonna be like a sailors thing. There's gonna be like, oh no, this place is really well kept, though, isn't it? I'd roll, and I'll have to come up with a story based on it.
All right.
You'll see. So 70 a common item roll one. Because I've only got 24 items in my common loot table. 13 is a bolt, screw, nail.
A what?
Bolt, a screw, or nail. In
Oh.
other words, a small like object.
Okay. All right.
That's how I categorize that one.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I didn't realize it was like 3 different items. All right.
Well,
so
I rather than list each one separately, I put because they were similar enough.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, you could list them separately, and then you'd have a longer list.
Yeah,
Closer to getting 100, but whatever. All right, so you're gonna go try and what? How are you gonna try to get one of these items? Like look around.
Construction work, I guess.
Okay. And just kind of like pocket it, palm it, type thing.
I assume yeah. Well, if there's any way to look for something that's not too occupied, if I can, ideally.
Okay. You happen to be in luck. You find another construction site, and the people working there are basically taking lunch, and they're not really paying attention. And I rolled a 3, 0, 3. So you easily palm a.
Hang on, I just like to see what that was a pickpocket check, yeah.
Yes.
Just so my terrible pickpocket's like 15. So
I hope it's not that low.
10 actually.
Oh my
Because
god!
I've got minus 20 to
Oh my god!
armor because I'm wearing Elven Chain.
Well, but you could have left the armor back on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you-
yeah, all right, 30 then. But if I got in combat,
Jeez, you need what? If you got into combat, then you'd be screwing all this up anyway.
I'd be running with invisibility potion.
Oh God, no!
All right, so you easily and without notice pocket a
Yeah, maybe I
a nail.
should take pickpockets. Yeah.
You should.
Yes, you
Do
should.
you think?
It's
Consider you're required to steal a solely symbol on a regular basis?
It doesn't have to be pickpockets. I mean, there are other things if
Could
you
be
could think of a way to do it that
But it's
utilized
still
other
a
things.
useful tool for you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Well,
mean,
that's why I always thought I had to go into a house, steal. So I didn't think when I was making my character that I could just be pickpocketing stuff.
oh yeah.
That just didn't cross my mind.
But see, the thing about pickpocketing, the pickpocket check is that it covers literally any sort of prestidigitation, sleight of hand. So if you wanted to trick people with the game of cups, if you wanted to do
Hide an item.
card tricks, palm cash, palm coins when you're doing a transaction, that's all pickpockets.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hide like a small item on your body somewhere.
Would I have a bolt nail scrooge? I roll 1d3 for that.
it's up to you. No, I mean it'd be a nail. It'd be a nail.
All right, now I have the holy
Yeah,
nail.
scrolls and
You might want to dull the edge of that.
No, that would be sacrilege.
Okay,
No, at
so
least it won't happen.
with that, you guys are all prepared. Unless there's anything anyone else wants to do before you guys go.
Oh no, there was a couple of spells obviously on the day. Basically, I want to cast my augury. And
Okay.
my idea will be after the augury is the intent to, as we currently are, to find out what kind of a rating I'll get. If it would be disastrous to go as we are currently prepared.
The augury returns that it would not be disastrous, but it is a very, very, very dangerous
Yeah,
undertaking that you're.
as long as it wasn't across the board. We've clearly forgotten something.
No, I mean you interpreting the dice, you determine that it will be a very, very tough journey, but there is a small potential for a high reward at the end.
Well,
I like those
what we-
odds.
Yeah, that's hopefully what
That's
this
the
whole
odds.
journey is.
That's the odds of an
All right,
adventure.
and the other spell, I don't know if. Oh, it's a different spell. It's idea. Well, just in case we forgot something, overlooked something. Yeah, we might have forgot some special feed or sun cream or something. I know we've got sun cream.
Let's see.
That's a gold. I'm down a gold.
With that, I don't think.
If
that
I
we've
don't,
forgotten
if I
anything.
don't, no, if we've not forgotten anything, we've not forgotten anything. Fair enough.
Um.
And my last 3 spells is on good berries. I'm going to make some good berries.
Okay.
Don't leave the seeds behind.
No, the seeds are staying on the ship. Oh no, you eat them out. I assume they're seedless or something. I don't know.
Well, they're not seedless. They just pass through you. All right.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing.
It's outside the boundaries.
yeah. All right. So go ahead and roll for the number of good berries that you'll have.
Second.
What kind of berries are they? Are they blueberries or strawberries?
Oh no, I
or-
did. It was a kind of elven berry, just for flavor text. I don't know. 3D. No.
Blackberries?
You know, I can see your hidden thing, Yeldan.
Yeah.
Like,
I just.
I understand. It's just
15 good berries.
I can see the like no one else can, but I can.
The Twitch stream can too,
Yes, which means the Twitch stream can.
which means YouTube can eventually as well.
All right, so you get 15 good berries.
Weird.
All right. If you guys are all prepared, the Planetary Defense Force does lead you to a wasp that they've landed in a nearby docking facility. This is still in the foreign quarter, and you
I'm
are
making sure I'm bringing that rod with us too, by the way.
okay. You are heavily under guard.
Yeah.
And all of
Braxton
the
says-
warriors are like eyeing you very suspiciously.
Braxton says to you, we used to have one of these. We called it the pommel.
Some of the guards just give you kind of like a grunt of. Yeah.
Is that an insult or is that?
No, it's just. It's
No,
more
as
of
in
they don't care.
that's how they're interpreting
it's a fine ship.
was.
That gets a reaction from one of them. It's like he pats it and says, "Aye, it's definitely my favorite." And with that, so I assume that you've either told them which sea you need to go to.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
crystal something. What was
Yeah.
it?
Crystal blue.
Crystal blue.
So they fly there, and it's probably about a quarter of the circumference of the planet before you get to it. So it takes a number of hours to get there. But you do finally put down outside in the mountains. There's a kind of a flat plateau leading to a well-maintained cart path down out of the mountains. Not paved, but you can see the ruts there.
Hey, it's a nice landing pad.
And you're greeted by a couple dwarven warriors in armor. They talk with the PDF members there and quietly away from you. You were about to say something, Braxon?
Braxton was going to say hello in Dwarvish.
They acknowledge you with
Probably the same.
a suspicious grunt.
Vicious
And
America.
with that, one of the dwarves goes back in and comes back out after a few minutes with some cloth blindfolds.
Mm-hmm.
He comes over to you and says, "Yeah, we're gonna have to blindfold you coming in. Don't want you
Maybe I
seeing the
should
pathways
memorize.
through our caverns."
Maybe
That's
I should have memorized.
Do they
that
blind?
sense.
Here's
Do
the
they
question.
blindfold the animals too?
No, they don't.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We can talk to. No.
Yeah,
it-
Lafdul can.
Well,
All right,
no,
I'll take the blindfold and be like, all right.
I'll take
Yeah,
one too.
hold my hand.
Yeah.
They actually,
rope.
like when you reach for them, they kind of yank them as we put them on.
Oh, okay.
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 And then Yeldan will kneel down so they can reach then.
Yeah, I'll kneel down.
Okay.
Higgimus will definitely have to.
They blindfold you and tie them pretty
Lafdul
tight.
starts making lewd jokes.
Don't.
You do?
Are you doing it
Do
in
you do that?
Elvish?
Yeah, he's muttering to himself.
Oh,
In-
God.
in what language?
Elvish. He's like, this reminds me of something, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
They don't understand.
The dwarf blindfolding you accidentally
Oh, dear.
knees you in the side rather painfully, and then and he says, "Oh, sorry about that." Did that shut you up?
For now.
Once,
Please
He
don't
might be-
endanger the mission.
Don't endanger the mission.
once you're all blindfolded, they bring out a rope and they say, "Keep a hold of this, and we'll lead
I
you
take
on
hold
through."
of it.
Braxton says we'll do in Dwarvish. And he says, and thank you for taking us through your territory. We really appreciate it.
Are they
well,
gonna
we're
move
not
our
doing it
supplies
because we
for us?
want to. They begin leading you what you assume is inside. The temperature does change. It gets a little bit colder, not too much, but you can hear the crackling of torches as you go. and the trip itself, it's kind of hard to tell how long it takes, but it's not fast. You would guess it's on the order of at least 3 hours. And
Well, we're used to this kind of walking.
finally, the lead rope stops, and a dwarven voice grunts, "All right, well, it's late. We're at the exit, but we've set up some cots for you to sleep on. You won't be allowed to get further into our caverns, but you can sleep here. We've got some food. You can set out in the morning."
Sounds good.
I have a
Braxton
question.
says,
Yeah, they also unblindfold you.
okay.
You're real fast. You're in a pretty good sized chamber, and you can see in the walls there are arrow slits, and at the far wall there is a large door. It's at least 15 feet high. You don't actually see anything through the arrow slits, Yeldan.
Yeldan doesn't look. So he looks at them and says, "Yep."
Can I
You're
ask?
pretty sure
do
it's
you have
a
anything
guard
like?
chamber.
I'm gonna ask one of the dwarves something. Do you have anything like a sled we could buy or something for when we're on the snow side, or to make transporting supplies easier?
I'll have to talk to the elders. If we do, we'll have someone here in the morning with one.
Thank you.
Braxton says, we'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
What did the animals tell, or at least what did Tayan tell me? Or tell Leva?
Unless you can speak.
The impressions you got from Tayan was stone, 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 dwarf, stone, stone, more stone, torch, stone,
Any pretty stones?
stone, stone.
Fascinating.
Did he mention stone?
So I'll make sure that I have everything set up for us for when we leave.
I'll help him
unpack
getting things set up.
Winter gear for us
Okay.
and all that good stuff.
You know what? I happen to have Creek Campsite memorized.
Create campsite wouldn't do anything in here.
Yeah, I know.
They already set up a camp of sorts for us.
Yeah. It's fairly warm in here. The opposite those large doors are a pair of smaller double doors. The outside door is stone. The inside ones are wood. And
I look at the size of the stone doors and I'm like, "Yep."
Once they leave you, there's torches all around, so it's reasonably well lit. But once they leave, all of the dwarves leave, and they close those doors, and you do hear the thud of a bar falling in place.
Well, looks like
Yeah, I'll have mate. He's got a push to get out of this.
no, don't cause any trouble.
I look
Braxton says, I guess normally they have the criminals in this room.
Probably, yeah.
That's my guess. All right.
So-
Make sure you guys have everything ready.
I'm
most of the-
creating 5 temporary healing potions if people want to write it down on the sheets for tomorrow.
Okay.
Everyone apart from me, so because I can always heal myself without having to touch
How
myself.
long do you temporary
Leva doesn't want one either.
Why do you not want one?
Well, Leva
Because if
thinks
I
she is.
have to cast a spell on you, I have to touch you. So
Yeah,
You can always
he's
give it
now.
someone else.
His point is that in combat, he doesn't need to make an attack roll against himself. He would need to make an attack roll against you if you're in melee combat.
Melee. And the more people that have the potions, the more you can distribute them around to other people. If I'm not having. They last for 6 days.
6. That's what I was asking to make sure I
Sorry.
had it up to date.
Yeah, if you have one and you don't need it, you can help someone else who goes down.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys bed down for the night. the dwarves have provided you with cots that are not uncomfortable. I mean, they're certainly not great, but at least
Just-
you're able to sleep okay.
Passable.
Can Yeldan set up his outdoor hammock?
No,
No.
there's
Nothing-
nowhere to hang
Unless you start hooking a nail. You're not using my holy symbol now into the wall.
it.
No,
and
you're gonna have to sleep on a cot.
the cots do have nice thick comforters as well, so that definitely makes it a more pleasant evening.
Even though the bed's
Did they
probably
have-
too small.
Did they have one for Higgimus?
Yes, they did
Oh,
have
wow.
one large enough for Higgimus.
Oh, that's considerate.
Although it actually
Might not be able
looks
to endure the weight.
relatively freshly made.
They speed crafted it when they heard about you.
How considerate.
Um,
Strangely
That's
considerate.
what I thought.
so the next morning, you guys wake up and you you're awoken as the double wooden doors are unbarred and opened, and a couple dwarves come in with some piping hot stew. There's a little platform that they rested on, and there's a stack of bowls that they bring in as well, and they say, "We got you some breakfast."
Thank you.
Thank you.
Braxton says thank you in Dwarven, and good morning to you, sir.
Aye. Now, one of you was asking about a sled or something.
Yeah, to make travel easier on the dark side.
All right. The elders said we'd be willing to sell you one, but it'll be 250 gold pieces.
We can do that.
All right.
How much
Yeah,
gold did Higgimus bring with him?
Can we sell it back to you when we come back?
Why are you pushing things?
Wait,
When
what?
you say that, the dwarf gives a guffaw. You think you'll be coming back?
We do think we'll be coming back, sir.
We we killed a dragon once.
Everyone's
Yeah.
killed a dragon, so they say. Well, if you want it, 250 gold pieces.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
As I asked, how much gold did Higgimus bring with him? Because Yeldan didn't bring any gold. Because that's extra carry rate on the journey.
One. The
Oh.
potions are £50, aren't they? Field
Yes.
potions.
Yes.
All right. Sorry. So I've been getting mine wrong. Lever's right.
All right. So, Higgimus, you pay him.
Yes.
Okay. After a few minutes, there's some grunts, and then a big thud, and then a squealing sound as a large. It's more of a sledge than a sled. It's a large, thick, flat wooden platform with some actually steel runners on the bottom. Is pushed into the chamber, and he says, "Here you go."
That
Thank
is
you much.
fine. That
Yes.
is very fine craftsmanship. As I admire the sled.
Yeah. Looks nice.
It's very generous of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, like
I
I
will-
said,
Well, we paid for it. We
I
paid.
work as an armorer,
for it.
so I can really tell the quality of the steel.
So Braxon and Ockar, knowing something a bit about the materials put together, you think that back on Brawl, even with Brawl's prices, this thing would probably sell for 50 gold pieces.
yeah.
Yeah,
How much did you pay for this?
250.
250.
5 times that.
So,
Jesus Christ.
So, Braxton says, so you don't think we'll be coming back, so how much would you
you know
you-
gambling's illegal.
No. How much would you pay for this to buy it back if we come back? Obviously there'll be depreciation in it.
He kind of looks at you and is like, "You have a lot of faith in your own capabilities, son."
Yep.
Yep.
They're traveling with Lafdul. What could go wrong?
I don't know that we'd want to buy it back.
You wouldn't.
I don't know.
You wouldn't want to bring back the sledge that goes
How's
out and
about we
discovers.
cross that bridge when we come to it?
Yeah,
That'll be
we'll
nice.
see.
Fair enough.
We'll
fair
see
enough.
what we'll see what we can get if we come back alive.
Okay, so I take it when you take us outside, there'll be some sort of signals we need to give to get back in.
Yeah, we'll tell you about that when you get out there. Eat up.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Lord.
Oh, here's a question to the party. Do you want endure elements when... I've purposefully memorized... Well, actually, I've only memorized 2. Never mind.
You might want to wait
I'll
until, like, those kinds of spells, wait until you feel like you need them, rather than...
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I meant, in case like we need them during the sleep or something. So we get uninterrupted
Yeah,
rest.
they're
That's why...
just
Well, yeah, these are my actual spells, not the scrolls.
okay.
Anyways, let's go.
Alright, so you guys eat up
Get
the
blindfolded
stew.
again.
It's kind of bland.
It's
But
warm, I suppose,
certainly,
filling.
yeah, it's very warm, very filling, heartening, but in terms of flavor, not special at all. Like, they definitely did not...
Is it vegetable,
It
meat?
needs, it
what
needs
kind
more
of...
salt, for sure. And Leva and Yeldan, you'd probably toss in some, maybe a little bit of basil, some oregano. Probably could have used a bay leaf as well. It's mostly potatoes, and carrots,
Starchy.
other tubers, a little bit of meat, not a whole lot of meat.
At least
Oh,
there's a
have
little
some
bit of
nutmeg.
protein in there.
Have some nutmeg.
It'd be very spicy.
All right, once you've finished, the dwarves advise you to dress warmly.
We'll
We'll
start
start getting
stoning.
the
We'll
winter
put
gear
on
on.
the warm clothes that we bought for this
Oh.
journey then.
Mhm.
I'll ask him real quick how armor works out there, or
You got any tips, rather?
The dwarf looks at you and is like, "You planning to wear armor out there? I wouldn't.
I'm
metal
not-
metal on your, even with the padding, metal on your skin is you're asking for frostbite."
Yeah, how would I know with Elven Chain? Because it's kind of very light.
I think I can actually cure frostbite.
Not until it becomes disease-ridden.
I mean, it's up to
Yeah.
you.
I'm not gonna wear my armor.
Okay.
I'm gonna store my armor on the sled.
Yeah, the thing is, my armor's wrapped in leather wraps, so how does mine affect me?
You don't know.
Ah,
You'll know when
armor.
you'll know when you get out there. Just put your war clothing on top of it for now.
I point out, you're just better off wearing leather armor out there.
Braxon wouldn't have brought metal armor.
I have got leather armor, but that means
I
I'm
just
carrying...
brought mine for when we get to where we're going if we need it.
You didn't even
Yeldan's
bring your metal
taking-
armor, Braxon?
Well, because we're going somewhere cold, it'd freeze.
Well, but you might get someplace where it's not.
You still need to carry your armor.
It's
I
true,
mean, I
you do
can
still
carry-
need to carry it. It's up to you.
That's what the sledge is for. Though.
Oh, there's the chainmail. That'd be easier to store, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so did you bring that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already said I'm storing the full plate on the sled.
Yeah,
carry
I got
my shield
Elven
and sword
Chain, I
with
got
me.
leather armor. I'm carrying both mine.
All right, so you guys dress up.
Yeah,
Yep.
all wintered out.
Okay. and
Question:
you-
rings, metal ring.
Shouldn't
You're
matter that
wearing.
much.
You guys are good. You
Gloves.
guys are wearing like thick mittens as well. So
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
that
cover up
that was
our
part of
hands.
your the big parkas that you got. They
Yeah,
have
I
they have full
imagine actually
furred
Yeldan
hoods and
probably,
everything.
Yeldan probably has the quick pull-off gloves.
Can I...
Kind of hard
quick-
to be able to bow and mitten.
Is that drow dagger of mine completely ruined now? So I don't know
Yes.
if I'm writing it off my
It's gone.
sheet.
It's I mean it's ruined. Yeah.
That's fine.
All right. So you guys dress up. You put your spare supplies on the sledge. I assume you're kind of getting a harness set up for Bjornwolf.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And once you give the signal that you're all ready, I say, "All right, brace yourselves," and they go to open the door. They're wearing heavy coats themselves. that they put
We're
on.
all wearing.
I'm sorry.
We're all wearing our equipment anyway, so we don't let that stray.
No, but I mean, they're not wearing as heavy as you are wearing. They're just wearing heavy coats.
We're wearing like the most heavy-duty stuff we could get.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the pair of dwarves walk up to the door and grasp a large iron ring in it, and they pull, and you hear a low squealing sound. But it seems to open fairly surprisingly easily. As it swings open, you notice that this door, however, is like a foot thick of solid stone. It is massive.
You might want to oil those hinges.
You trying to
it's
insult the guy?
Clearly oiled based on how easily
Easy
they
open.
just two dwarves are opening it.
Oh.
It's magically.
But the second it's open just a fraction, you feel this blast of icy air strike you, and
I'll wake you up.
all the torches around flicker, like they just dance like crazy as this gust of wind blows in. It gets colder and colder as they pull it open. They get it open just enough for you to get the sled through.
Yep.
And they say, all right, when you come back, there is actually a bell that you can ring. You'll see it when you get out there. You pull on it, and it'll ring inside. Someone can open the door.
Oh,
Thank you.
However,
Thank you.
it's very high up.
Very high up.
As you get out, as soon as you're out, they start closing up the door. And you can see above the door. It's so it's over 15 feet high. The bell. There is no dangling line, but you are standing on a field of solid ice, as far as you can tell, with a layer of snow, and the wind is
Use a
blowing
rope.
fiercely.
Rope
I look
to
at that.
Higgimus, can you
There's
reach
no
the
rope.
bell?
There's no Higgimus cannot reach the bell.
No, no,
I
no.
look at-
If I
can hit-
launch him, can you reach the bell?
I look at lever. I can hit that with arrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but it
should
doesn't even
do
matter.
that.
There are many ways to get that lever. It's not an obstacle.
Yeah, so
Okay.
let's start moving. We don't
Yeah,
want
Before
to
we
stay
get cold.
standing around too long, or else
Yep.
we're gonna freeze right here at the doorway.
don't forget, I have my 15-foot or my 10-foot pole too. So
Right.
Mhm.
So
That's going to be
Braxton says,
very cold.
Braxton says, "What's our first landmark?"
wood.
It's a wooden pole.
Yep.
Well,
Oh.
first of all, the door slams shut behind you, and you're standing on.
Does it start off an avalanche?
No. There's the entrance here is fully protected from that kind of thing. Looking up behind you, as far as you can see, which it's nighttime, and you can now see that the entire sky is solid cloud cover. Like there is, you cannot see the stars. It is
That
solid
explains why
cloud
we couldn't
cover.
see it from space.
Well,
Yep.
it's also the fact that it was shadow.
Hey, do you reckon there are frost giants out there? Lafdul wonders to himself.
Let's
Don't
hope.
bring that up.
Let's hope. And then I'll pull up the map, look at in the Katina Lightstone that I have, and then get the bearings of where we're at, and then
Yeah.
say, all right, let's head out.
Okay, you probably would have looked at it before you went out because it is
Yeah.
blowing very, very. There's a strong wind blowing right now. And
Braxon.
looking at the map, it indicates that you will come to a shoreline, shore of some sort of lake or sea, pretty large. The fact that it doesn't seem to indicate anything about like
Distance.
turning in it, well, it definitely doesn't indicate distance, but it also doesn't indicate like any expectation that there's a chance that you could miss it. You're guessing it's very big.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
Yes.
basically just indicating straight ahead down the mountains.
All right,
Mhm.
let's go,
Right
folks.
on, then.
And don't stand still for long. Keep your bodies
Yeah.
moving.
I'm
Okay, so
just-
Braxton.
I'm gonna start moving with Beowulf and the sled once everybody's ready.
Don't we have that mount spell anyway?
Also,
Yes.
I imagine
Shouldn't
everyone
cast
be
it.
wearing.
What was that, Yeldan?
Everyone's wearing snowshoes, right?
Yeah,
Well, snow boots or snowshoes.
we
I
all
don't know.
bought
No, you
like snow
bought
boot,
snowshoes.
snowshoe combos.
Yeah, the things that look like tennis rackets. You bought those.
Yeah, we all bought those.
But you don't need them yet. You're on pretty solid ground as far as you can tell.
So right
That's
now we're just
gonna-
wearing the boots and haven't put the tennis racket parts on yet.
Correct.
I'll make sure that,
That
those
would-
are. When we were packing up the cart, I made sure those were readily available to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly
Like, on the
enough, right here out in front of the door, it's there isn't a whole lot of snow. You can see snow has piled up to the sides of the door, but you'd guess that the warmth coming out of the door probably keeps the front area relatively clear.
Yeah.
And there's only maybe an inch or two of snow even on the ground right now. It's not snowing, but it is blowing around quite hard.
They would probably do that to make it so that people walking how to go collect snow don't slip and break
Out
their
of
back.
curiosity, would my crampons help?
They might.
What?
Do they fit my boots though?
That's a good question.
What are crampons?
Basically, they help
spiked.
me climb. Spiked attachments.
Spike things
Like
fit on
cleats.
your feet.
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask about if these snow boots that we got have something.
The
like that,
the boots you have do not, because the boots are
Okay.
more for keeping your feet and toes from
No, but it
freezing.
could be used as I'll say used as a template to make more, but we're not making
but
anything
yes,
out here.
your crampons would fit over those boots because they're adjustable.
All right, I will wear them if they'll help me walk.
You don't need them right now. You
Alright,
might need
I'll
them
come
later,
back.
but not right now.
I only literally just forgot about them.
Now,
Until I
Yeah.
remembered.
you're pretty sure that the temperature outside right now is just below freezing. So it's
So
already
it's
very
like
cold.
30-something degrees Fahrenheit? Or
25
20...
Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Let's get
Well, let's
moving.
get going.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you begin traveling down the slope, heading in straight away from the. Shoot, you know what? I did remember something that I was going to tell you with the idea, and because I just remembered it, I am going to. Because it was something that I thought of if you cast that, I was going to tell you, and then I forgot about it. So because
Okay.
I forgot about it, and I had intended to mention it if you cast idea, I'm going to retroactively
I
let you
took the
do
gold
something.
off, yeah.
Okay.
Right, what's that?
It was specifically a compass.
Oh,
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
We would bring a compass.
Compass.
Okay,
I think
so
my survival kit actually come. Yeldan's survival
probably
kit
not.
has-
Compasses at this time would be,
Rare.
yeah.
Yeah.
How
Expensive.
much? How
We
much
have
is
a
a
compass.
compass?
I would say 30 gold pieces.
Okay, bought it.
Yeldan's gonna buy one for himself.
Okay, so you use that, and since the pole is going to be straight away from the mountains, you're basically following, going straight south.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And you begin your journey. But that is where we're going to end the session, with you guys just getting out into the icy wastes of the dark side.
Lafdul would make a suggestion to Ockar that
Yes.
we probably should pray to our deities for a blessing of our journey.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that we should
Yeah,
probably
I'm
do.
gonna do that. If you're gonna do
That's
that.
something Lafdul's going to do as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pray.
All right. Pray for good fortune on and protection on your journey.
Yeah.
Yeldan
Right.
doesn't pray. He's more practical.
Your master would
probably
have,
would
would have
at this
been
point.
talking to you about this, especially on this trip over, and would have been
You want
talking to you
spells.
about Solanor Philandra.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you might want to start doing that because
If you want spells.
eventually, yeah, you're gonna need that for spells.
Yeah.
All right, but
Braxon
it is
does as well.
it is dark. Think of an overcast night, far away from any city lights or anything like that. It is dark. You can see
I
some
know,
vague
dark.
shapes out beyond the radius of your light, but not much. Like large terrain features you can see, and that's about it. Otherwise, you're limited to what you can see in the radius of your light. And those of you with infravision, it doesn't help. It is too cold.
No light.
Too cold.
Well, no, it's not that there's no light. It's too cold.
Cold.
Everything is the same
Yeah.
color.
You don't have your fancy heat vision.
Well, but that's what infravision is. It is heat vision,
Yeah.
but there's no heat.
Yes.
Lack of heat.
I mean, you can see your friends, but you can't see anything else. Like, you can't even tell the difference between rocks and ground. Normally, even in a cool area, you'll be able to tell enough of a difference between the gradient, but all of this is just too cold. It is
Can
just-
I see
If we do count the living creatures, it's fairly easy to spot them.
Would it, though?
Unless
they're cold.
Unless they're non-living.
If they're like undead.
Can
Or
they
just
see the
cold monsters.
dwarven doorway, Ald?
Yes, but still, once you're beyond 60 feet, you can't see it anymore.
I imagine within the 60 feet, it's like a beacon of heat.
No, not exactly, because it's still very cold. It's just not as
It's
cold.
noticeable. It's because it's not as cold.
I guess maybe the arrow slits might show up or something.
No, that's inside.
Yeah, the outlets are inside.
The
Oh,
only,
I
the
thought
only
they
thing
were
outside. No,
inside.
no,
They don't have to
that was
defend
all
any-
inside.
They don't
Outside,
have to
the only thing is the door and the bell.
Right.
Because nothing's going to attack them.
Well, you don't know that. But
Is
the
there
reason
any-
why...
And very much that we're gonna run into like the White Walkers out here or something.
Well, I mean, remember that there were reports of humanoids out here.
Yeah.
True.
Yep.
Those might be ice giants.
It's a shame I'm not like a priest of aura or something, you know. It'd be great. You know, I'll be in my element, yeah.
You could take off all your clothes and be in your element.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be phased by the game.
Okay. All right.
there, like,
Experience
snow that
points
would be
wise,
wonderful here?
that is going to be 600 experience points for Higgimus. 500 for Braxon, Yeldan, and Ockar.
500?
450 for Leva. 400 for Lafdul, and another 100 for your thief.
Woo.
Okay. And when we come back next week, hopefully my voice won't be crappy, and we'll be traversing an icy wasteland. Hope you guys are looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to figure out how to make you as the players feel the cold.
It's
No,
almost 30 degrees outside my house right now.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
but
getting
see-
pretty
cold
cold
here
where I
too.
am.
Yes, but see, you're gonna be there's gonna be a point on this trip where you're gonna be like, oh man, I wish it was only 25 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, you could invite us to your holiday house in Alaska.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh wow, it's so nice and balmy here.
All I have to say is,
We could all take a trip to Antarctica.
Yes.
hey, I live in Canada. We get negative 30 Celsius.
Well,
Yeah, we got
anyway,
a resident cold expert.
thank you guys. Thank you guys for playing. And thanks everyone out there for watching. I hope you come back next week when we when I try to freeze all the characters solid.
Alright, Lafdul survive.
See you next week, everyone.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having us.
See ya.
Thanks for the game.